Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now, as y'all know, this time of year, my mind is pretty focused on hunting, right? We've got a ton of great fishing opportunities, and I'll do my best to get out there and chase some silvers. This week was getting prepared for this upcoming duck season, getting the boat ready and decoys, and you never really remember how much stuff you have during duck season until you break it all out in the end of September or the first week of October to get started. Trust me, it's a thing. Other than that, chasing some pheasant. If you were unaware, there's several places in Oregon right now where you can go chase pin-raised, yes, pin-raised pheasant in a number of different areas, and I spent a couple of days doing that. It was a little bit warm. Drago didn't really like that a lot. I saw one, unfortunately, and I saw one of the coolest things that I ever saw, and it wasn't a great day for the particular pheasant that I saw, but a red-tailed hawk. Did you know that they could pick up a full-grown pheasant and be on the wing in about 2 seconds? I've never seen anything like that before. Even the birds like those things. I would highly recommend, though, if you have the opportunity, look up the places that actually have them, wherever you might be located. There's several locations, Ladd Marsh, down south from here, even in the vicinity of where I'm at. There's some good options for that. You just got to kind of time it and be willing to cover a lot of ground. That's why my feet kind of hurt this morning. But there's certainly a lot of things that you can do out there, but don't overlook fishing opportunities. And when we check in with Peyton Major here in just a minute, we'll find out what this weather is going to do. And that's really going to change things on pretty much all tributaries that have any sort of return of coho, right? And that's actually coming up around the corner. Up and down the coast, though, lots of questions about chasing fall Chinook now that the Columbia is off the table. And it's been tough. Tillamook definitely had a moment or two, but the best report I got this week was from the Silettes. Now, I know that there are folks that fish down there are probably throwing stuff at the TV right now that I even mentioned that, but that's one of the only opportunities, right? Now, things could change. They had the meeting this week about the Columbia. Would we get more time for Chinook? As it stands now, the Columbia is closed until October 1, and it'll only be for silvers after that. So who knows what's going to happen between now and then? It all depends on fish counts and what they allow to happen. And, you know, they don't take into consideration what the kill nets do, which is like record setting from what I understand. But in the end, cross your fingers, there might be a little bit of extra time on the Columbia. Now, Tim from Woodland, be patient. I'm going to get to your call after we do talk with Peyton, but let's take a look at the fish counts. I mean, this is getting to be a little frustrating, especially since there's a lot of folks paying attention to this right now. Only one update this week. It was a positive one, but the time that I spent there was a desert. I mean, a desert. It's my backyard, and high-end electronics, best that you can get, and I never saw a thing on it. But I think that's going to change quickly. That number right there was significantly lower than it was last year at this time, but again, things can turn quickly. These are obviously the numbers over at the dam at Bonneville. You know, 5,800 is not great, but you can see those numbers have been fluctuating a little bit. It wouldn't surprise me if we did see a big bounce, but again, they need to have some numbers to go over the dam itself in order to give us that opportunity. River levels. I believe we loaded in some of the tributaries. We'll get there. Willamette, not too interesting. Tides are not as dramatic as they were this past week. Taking a look at Bonneville and the Columbia. Again, we're just keeping these in there just because they're in the system. It'll ultimately become a thing to pay attention to after the 1st of October. But again, Joey, I'm not positive, but I do believe Ryan loaded in some of the other rivers. Let's see if we've got some of the tribs in there post Bonneville. You can see, okay, perfect example. Here's my home river. A lot of people are paying attention to this. The reports from here have been sporadic at best. There's just been no water. And when silvers get into the Clackamas or on this side of the Columbia, anything in the tributaries, these fish get lockjawed. They're very difficult to get to bite. That's where twitching and a couple of different things that you can do to kind of entice them to bite help out. But this was the big question this past couple of days with this rain that we've got forecasted, not to give up Peyton's forecast, but the question was, well, how much water do we really need to see in these rivers to get excited? That's it. I mean, if we got 2 inches of rain that's coming, you're not going to see a big bounce. Everything is so dry. All that water is going to get absorbed in the hillsides and the dirt, whatever, and it's not really going to make it into the rivers. But all it is stink. any scent that comes out of these tributaries is going to just absolutely, especially first week of October, those silvers are going to march. They're going to just figure, okay, that smells like home, and they're going to cover some ground. What that means, though, is you might have a bunch of fish show up in the tributaries, but they will get lockjawed. When you find them in areas, and we'll talk about that with David here in just a little bit, when you find them like that, there's different ways that you can go after them to get them to bite, right? And sometimes it's just the Buzz Ramsey adage, the cat in the string kind of thing. So we'll talk about that. But not a huge bounce, but that is a huge deal. That is absolutely fantastic for some of the rivers that you might want to target silvers on when you get that opportunity. So hopefully you're actually able to get out there and do that. Now, unless we have any more of those river levels to show, don't forget this upcoming, actually right now, today, the 27th of September, there is a CCA meeting. It's the Columbia River Gorge chapter. They have their banquet and auction this evening. It starts at 6 p.m. Every time we show these, we get comments or questions from folks that aren't necessarily members of the CCA, but this is a great way that you can learn about them, find out what it is that they're all about, and maybe become a member yourself. They can always use your help, and we definitely need their help for so many different reasons here in the Northwest. Procure, don't forget to send Jason at procure.com an email. That'll enter you in to win that prize pack. You do have to enter in each and every week to be up for that prize pack. All right, let's check in with Peyton Major and find out what this weather is going to do. And I absolutely love this. I know that there's a vast majority of people that are out there that might not be into the same things that I am, but this is awesome. Looks like we got a big change coming.
Yes, finally, right? I've been saying all morning, we're taking a nosedive into fall. I mean, I think summer's hung on a few more days than we anticipated, but 58 out there now, about a 6-degree jump from even just an hour ago. So we got a pretty quick warm up here, near 80 this afternoon, around 75, and more clouds tomorrow, but we will stay dry. This is the kind of big picture here. Now, I've been saying this is a parade of wet systems because not only are we going to get rain on Monday, we got another system Tuesday, Wednesday, and another system later this week. So this is going to really kind of be a back-to-back-to-back system that we're tracking here. Number one, Monday, really light showers kind of all throughout the day. It's just going to be basically a pretty drippy day. Tuesday is the day to watch, though. See this kind of textbook comma shape here? That is a textbook mid-latitude cyclone, and this one carries a little more punch with it. So we could see a southerly flow, a good gusty wind heading toward the metro and up the valleys as well. So know that we'll be closely watching that. A stronger gust, especially this time of year, may even knock down some trees or cause some scattered power outages. The rest of the week, kind of lingering moisture floats around. We're not talking a washout, just Thursday, Friday, some light showers. So it's going to be wettest Tuesday through Wednesday, but all in all, and this is where things get real impressive, 1 to 2 inches of rain expected Monday through Friday. That red shade indicated of 2 inches. So this is just one model run, but excellent news, especially for ongoing wildfires up in Washington, and then also our drought situation, which is never good this time of year. But yeah, you can see the rain icon stretch all the way through about this time next week. Highs going down into the 60s, and pretty much, again, the days to watch would be Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, Foxtel Weather app is a great resource for that. You can also check out radar on there as well, so that helps out.
Absolutely love it. I hope it's a sign of a very wet and very cold winter coming up.
We'll see.
I'm being selfish. Okay. Peyton, as always, we appreciate the insight. All right, let's go ahead and check in with Tim from Woodland. He's got what it says here is big salmon taken out of Rogue River. Tim, first things first,
yeah.
How big?
Well, I don't know. I'd say, well, I saw one of your photos.
Okay. Did you send in a photo, Tim? Did I hear you correctly?
No, I saw one of your photos that guy had a pretty good-sized salmon out of the Rogue.
Yeah. And did you have a comment on that or a report on that, Tim? What's going on?
Well, I used to fish the trout fish there years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen some pretty good-sized salmon taken out of there.
Oh, yeah. It seems like the last couple, and it's been this way forever, everyone. But when we're so used to it up here and around the Columbia and some of the tributes, Willamette in particular, to see good-sized fish that pushing 30 pounds or over, it's very rare that we see that anymore with the way that they kill them, offshore and everything else. But there has been some nice ones that were caught, don't get me wrong. But down at the Rogue, there's certainly been some nice fish taken this year and, of course, last year as well. But that's kind of what you expect down there, wouldn't you, Tim?
Yeah.
Very cool. Tim, thank you very much for your phone call, sir, and watching the show. We do appreciate it. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, we've got David Hawken from Hawken Fishing here in the studio. We're going to talk about nothing but twitching for silvers. This is the perfect timing, okay? You got water that's coming, up to 2 inches of rain that Peyton just mentioned. I don't want to jinx it, okay? That is all good stuff for this exact technique that we're going to talk about. We'll have that in just a couple of minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.